So let's talk about one of the outcomes of the Peloponnesian War, which is the development of a very important cultural aspect called philosophy, something that is still very important today. So please take these notes and write down everything that's on the slides that you see in front of you. So first off, let's define philosophy. What is it? Well, philosophy is pretty much simply the study of wisdom and knowledge. So it's not always about one thing in particular. They want to know what is true. They want to know why do we believe what we believe. They want to know what causes things to happen. So it's the study of governments, the questioning of human nature, relationships, friendships. It's the study of natural phenomenon, understanding what causes things to happen. So it's really kind of just the love of knowledge and wanting to know the cause of things and love of the truth. This is something that really develops because of the Peloponnesian War. We need to know that philosophy was caused by the Peloponnesian War. It was something that developed in Athens. Remember, they were walled in during the Peloponnesian War, and they made a lot of mistakes. They had very weak leadership. The democracy wasn't working because you had the majority who were making bad decisions in the assembly. And so people started to question the government. And this is really kind of the first time on record we have people openly questioning the government and demanding changes. So the Peloponnesian War ends up developing into something really good, which is the birth of philosophy. Philosophy is seen as being born out of the ideas of one man, and this is a guy who was in the walled-in city of Athens during the Peloponnesian War. And that's this guy, Socrates. You've probably have heard of him before. Socrates is seen as the father of Greek philosophy. He was a teacher. He didn't write any of his ideas down. But after he was put to death, many of his students recorded what happened and what his ideas were that led to his death. He was put to death for questioning the rule and choices of the Athenian government during the war. So he would openly question the generals. He would openly question the assembly and the decisions that the people were making. So when Athens ends up losing the war, when Sparta ends up defeating them, the Athenians look for basically a scapegoat, somebody to blame for the loss. And they start to blame Socrates. They say that he's a traitor. He was questioning the government. He made Athens really weak. And so he is put to death because of this questioning. But after he dies, we start to see his students kind of rise up and not shy away from questioning because they're scared of being put to death, but instead they start to intensify or increase the questioning of the government. One thing that they used in order to try to find knowledge and find the truth was a method that Socrates created called the Socratic method. Socrates didn't want to be just this wise teacher who told people what to think. He wanted people to think for themselves. So he developed a questioning process where it's a discussion based on asking questions to try to find the answer to a question. So, for instance, you might be asked, what does Socrates mean by this? And you would give an answer. What do you mean by that answer? And you'd respond to that. And then you'd have another question asked because of your answer. And so the role of the teacher is always to try to make you think deeper about your answers and the root of your answers and why you think the way that you do.